Hello everyone! Welcome to Kyushu channel. You've probably seen scenes in anime or movies where a character wields a Japanese sword. That unique shine and the tension in every movement have captivated audiences all around the world. It's even said that the lightsabers in Star Wars were inspired by Japanese samurai swords and kendo, a traditional Japanese martial art where practitioners spar with bamboo swords. Believe it or not, these swords are still being made today, not as weapons, but as masterpieces of Japanese craftsmanship and traditional artistry. Today, we'll explore the Japanese sword, an icon of Japanese culture, from its history and structure to the key points to look for when appreciating one, all explained in a way that's easy for beginners to understand. To start with, one major difference between Japanese swords and Western swords is that Japanese swords have a single-edged blade with a gentle curve, made specifically for cutting. They're crafted from tamahagane, a high-purity steel that's folded and forged many times to create a strong and beautiful blade. Japanese swords also have a raised line running along the center of the blade, giving them both strength and elegance. And because they are meant to be used with both hands, the handle is made longer than that of most Western swords. Next, let's take a look at three key parts of the Japanese sword and briefly explain what they are. Kisaki, the tip of the blade, the sharp, pointed end of the sword. Its shape and curve greatly influence the overall look of the blade. Sari, the curvature. This refers to how much the back of the blade curves. The shape of this curve often reflects the era in which the sword was made. Hamon, the temper line. A wave-like pattern created during the hardening process. It is one of the most important artistic features of a Japanese sword. Now that you know the names of the key parts, let's move on to how to appreciate a Japanese sword. The best way to understand a Japanese sword is to see a real one if you can. Even museum displays are more than enough to enjoy, so try finding a place nearby where you can view a sword up close. When appreciating a sword, start by getting a general sense of its overall shape. The curve, the length, the width, and the thickness are all key features that define its character. The depth and position of the curve can also give you clues about the period in which the sword was made. When viewing a sword on display, try watching how the hamon, the wavy temper line along the edge, changes as it catches the light. That shimmering pattern is where the blade's unique personality really appears. You don't need to think about it in a technical way. Even simple questions like what kind of curve does it have, or what shape is the hamon, the temper line, can help you appreciate the beauty of a Japanese sword much more clearly. Now, let's take a look at some of the common types of curvature, or sari, found in Japanese swords. Koshi-zori, a type where the deepest part of the curve is near the base of the blade. It is often seen in older, longer swords and is known for its gentle, elegant line. Naka-zori, a type where the curve is most pronounced around the middle of the blade. This well-balanced shape is considered the classic silhouette of a Japanese sword. Mu-zori for short blades, a type with almost no curve, commonly found in short blades. Its straight shape makes it easy to handle and very practical in use. In this way, just by looking at the differences in curvature, you can begin to see when a sword was used and what purpose it was made for. Next, let's take a look at the tip of the blade, called the kisaki. The shape of the kisaki is very important, as it can give you clues about when the sword was made. A thin line called the yokote marks the beginning of the kisaki. Everything beyond this line forms the tip of the blade, which has a distinct, three-dimensional curve. There are three main types of kisaki. Small kisaki, kokisaki. Short and slender in shape, often seen on older swords. Medium kisaki, chūkisaki. The most common type, known for its well-balanced form. Large kisaki, okisaki. Longer and broader, giving the blade a powerful and striking appearance. The kisaki is carefully shaped by the swordsmith in the final stages of forging. It's an extremely delicate area, and it plays a major role in defining the expression of the entire blade. Next, let's take a look at one of the unique beauties of a Japanese sword, the gedan, the surface pattern that appears on the blade. A Japanese sword is made by heating steel, folding it many times, and hammering it with great care. This repeated forging creates unique patterns on the surface of the blade. These patterns are called gedan. There are several types of gedan patterns, but here we'll introduce just two of the most common ones. Straight, parallel lines. A calm and quiet-looking pattern. A flowing, wave-like pattern. It has a soft, gentle movement and is commonly seen on Japanese swords. Each sword has its own unique pattern and coloration. It truly is a place where the blade shows a one-of-a-kind expression. By observing the gedan, you can begin to appreciate the deeper beauty hidden within a Japanese sword. Next, let's take a look at one of the most popular features to admire in a Japanese sword, the hamon, the patterned temper line along the edge. If you look closely at a Japanese sword, you'll notice a white, wave-like pattern just above the edge. This is the hamon, created during the hardening process when the blade is heated and then rapidly cooled. Before the hardening process, the swordsmith applies a clay-like mixture called yakibatsuchi to the edge of the blade. Depending on where the clay is applied, thick or thin, the shape of the hamon changes completely. In other words, the hamon is the part where the swordsmith's skill and artistic design show most clearly. There are two major types of hamon. Sugu-ha, straight hamon, a simple, straight temper line that gives the blade a calm and understated look. Midoriba, irregular hamon, a more dynamic pattern, with waves or rounded shapes that create a very distinctive and expressive design. No two hamon patterns are ever the same. The hamon is often described as the expression of a Japanese sword, and it is where the craftsman's creativity and sense of beauty show most clearly. When you're appreciating a sword, take a moment to study the shape of this white, shimmering pattern. Now, let's take a quick look at how a Japanese sword is made. Even though a sword may look simple, creating one involves the work of many different craftsmen. First, the main part of the sword, the blade, is crafted by a swordsmith, known in Japanese as a toko. The swordsmith heats the steel, folds and forges it many times, and then hardens it to create a strong and beautiful blade. After the blade is completed, a polisher, called a togashi, spends many hours bringing out the beauty of the hamon and the gedan. The handle, the scabbard, and other fittings are then crafted by specialists in each field. This is why a single Japanese sword is the result of so many different skills coming together. The basics of Japanese sword making are actually quite simple. Choose good steel, forge it with care, and harden it to bring out both strength and beauty. Through these steps, a single sword is finally brought to life. A Japanese sword is truly a form of total art, created through the combined skill and aesthetic sense of many craftsmen. Now, let's briefly introduce three of the most famous swordsmiths in Japanese history. Each of them developed a unique style and left a significant impact on the evolution of the Japanese sword. Masamune, a legendary swordsmith often seen as the symbol of the Japanese sword. Masamune was a master who created blades that combined both beauty and strength. His swords are known for their powerful, wave-like hamon, and their striking presence is still regarded today as the pinnacle of Japanese sword craftsmanship. Muramasa, a master swordsmith famed for extraordinary sharpness. Muramasa was known for crafting blades with exceptional cutting ability. Their sharpness was so remarkable that his swords were once rumored to be cursed, but in reality, he was a highly skilled and respected craftsman. He also produced many outstanding short blades and wakizashi, shorter side swords traditionally worn together with a samurai's main sword. Naga Sone Kotetsu, an exceptional talent who began swordsmithing in his 50s. Kotetsu originally worked as an armorer, but after the age of 50, he stepped into the world of sword making. He quickly gained fame for producing blades with astonishing sharpness, earning recognition as one of the great masters. His popularity became so immense that many forgeries were made in his name. These three masters embody the very essence of what a Japanese sword is. Their skill and artistic vision continue to captivate people even today. Finally, let's take a look at how to hold a Japanese sword and a few simple basic stances. A Japanese sword is not meant to be used with one hand, but with both. When you hold it, gently wrap your hands around the handle. Place your left hand near the base of the grip, and your right hand just below the guard. Most of the strength should come from the three fingers on the little finger side of each hand. Keep your thumb and index finger relaxed, just lightly touching the handle, and let your wrist stay loose. Avoiding unnecessary tension is one of the most important points when handling a Japanese sword. You don't need to think too hard about stances. Depending on the situation, you can simply choose the position that feels easiest to move from. Holding the sword straight forward, raising it above for an offensive posture, or lowering it to focus on defense. When it comes to Japanese sword stances, it's less about looking elegant and more about being able to move naturally. If you're interested in trying these basic movements, I hope this explanation helps you get started at your own pace. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to explore more about Japan's traditions and culture, please subscribe and stay tuned.